Aquifers are underground systems that are able to contain water that we can use maybe if you have a house that has a well to use water for bathing and cooking and cleaning. So it holds water, but it's not necessarily an open space like an open container. It has materials in it like rocks and gravel. It's just that there's a lot of spaces for the water to get into it and be held there either. And another word that you'll hear is water bearing. That means to be able to give water. And what makes an aquifer something that is good are the materials that are in aquifer. Again, it's not, don't think of it as an empty chamber. This chamber, we don't have empty spots underground. They are places that are filled with material that allows the water to pass through easily. So it has movement of water through it. So rocks and soil with good permeability and porosity are good choices. They allow the water to flow and move through it, flow into it, and eventually flow out of it. And sand and gravel are great aquifers. They allow the water to move easily through it. And some other materials are generally sedimentary rocks such as sandstone and limestone, because generally, we say generally because most of the time these rocks are made by compression and compaction materials, so they're not overly condensed or overly squeezed together, that there are natural spaces that are occurring between the rocks. Another thing are highly fractured. Think fractured as crack. They have cracks in them that allow for channels of water to move through. And uncemented. We don't want rocks that are like cemented together. We don't want them glued together. We want them to have the ability to have the water to ease on through. What can contaminate an aquifer? Anything that can get into the ground and carry along with water can be. It can be a natural contamination, or it can be man-made. If you have for example, a plant or a tannery. Tanneries make leather, and a lot of times they use chemicals like mercury and arsenic. And when those chemicals maybe leak out of barrels and they get into the ground, then they can get to the water supply. We also have naturally occurring rocks in the ground like sulfur that can also contaminate the water as the water goes over them. So man-made or natural contaminants, if they can flow with the water, then it can get into the aquifer. Confining unit. Think confined, like unconfined, I can't move. Confining units don't allow for the movement of water. They don't allow water to pass. We say that word impermeable, meaning water can't go through it. It doesn't hold water, and it has low porosity. So basically, it's a barrier to water. In a confining unit, it's a layer of rocks. As we look down into the soil, we'll see different layers of soil and rock as part of the makeup of the dirt below us. And depending on the type of rock that was laid down during whatever era it was made, it may not allow water to go through. Sometimes we call these layers stratum. A confining unit may exist above an aquifer or below the aquifer, or above and below, which is almost like it's sandwiched the aquifer, meaning that if it's above it, the water can't get down through it. If it's below it, then water can't seep down underneath, or it might sandwich it, and that water is kind of trapped in that confining unit. In a confining unit, a couple other words that you're going to hear are aquitard or aquiclude. They both mean confining unit. Don't let water pass through. And what makes the best material for confining units? Clay, siltstone, and shale do not allow the water to pass through easily. Cemented rock, again, think of it as cemented. It's tightly put together, and it's not going to have the cracks or the crevices for water to flow through. Unfractured rocks. Fractured means it has cracks or crevices. Unfractured means it doesn't allow it to go through. And most igneous and metamorphic rocks are pretty solid in their makeup. With the heat and the pressure and the being created from magma, they usually do not have a lot of void spaces to allow water to go through. A couple exceptions are into it. One is pumice, and it allows water to go pass through it easily. Unconfined. So if I'm confined and I'm squeezed, unconfined means I'm open and I can allow water to go through. I'm not trapped. It holds water. Water infiltrates the ground from the above and seeps downward. It is not under pressure, and wells may be pumped to bring the water back up for drinking. Right, so we have a lot of unconfined water aquifers around here in Pennsylvania. We have a well, and you may have to have a pump system to bring the water up, because when people lose electricity, all of a sudden they're like, I can't get the water out of the ground because the pump's not working. Right, confined aquifers. Remember, confined may have one or two layers, and it's trapped. And so that trapped means the water somehow has a way to get in, but it can't easily get out. And that being trapped, or sometimes we like to think of the word sandwich, it creates a lot of pressure on the aquifer. It's squeezing. When the water fills up, it has nowhere to go, so it kind of creates its own pressure of squeezing.
In a confined aquifer, water does not seep down from our head. Because remember, as the water comes down through that confining, won't let it in, but it does have other ways of getting into it from other locations. Confined aquifer is under pressure, and it may produce artesian wells.